The Starfire glided silently through the vast emptiness of space, a shining example of human achievement, a sleek, powerful exploration ship tasked with forging peaceful ties among distant star systems. On board, the crew moved with purpose, each member aware of the importance of their mission to bring humanity's hope and strength to the unknown. Yet unknown to them, danger lurked in the shadows. The Zeltrons, an alien race, wary of human expansion and influence, had quietly infiltrated the ship under the guise of diplomatic envoys. Their plan was cunning and precise: to cripple the Starfire before it could complete its mission and send a clear message that humans should not push further into the galaxy. As the ship's systems hummed with energy and life, strange malfunctions began appearing. Lights flickered in critical control rooms. Communication lines went silent without explanation, and vital engines sputtered at irregular intervals. The crew's initial confusion soon turned to alarm as more systems failed one after another, and the smooth hum of the ship became a series of troubling warning sounds. Captain Daniel's voice cut through the growing tension, calm but firm, ordering immediate diagnostics and damage control. Panic was kept at bay, but the fear of sabotage took root quickly. The Zeltrons, watching covertly from their concealed stations, believed their sabotage was working perfectly, delaying the Starfire and putting human pride to the test. However, what they didn't anticipate was the unyielding spirit of the human crew. Chief Engineer Marla Jensen rallied her team, pushing them to think beyond standard repairs. Instead of simply fixing broken parts, they began to adapt and rebuild, turning the sabotage into an unexpected advantage. Systems that should have failed completely were restored with improvisation and quick thinking. The crew's deep knowledge and relentless drive shining brighter under pressure. Meanwhile, Captain Daniels coordinated with the bridge, keeping the ship stable and plotting a course away from the nearest hostile zone. The Zeltron's sabotage slowed the Starfire down, but only momentarily. The humans refused to be defeated or delayed for long, and despite the creeping danger and the unknown extent of the sabotage, their determination gave the ship new life. With every repaired circuit and rebooted system, the Starfire fought back against the alien interference, reminding everyone on board that human innovation was a force to be reckoned with. As the crew worked tirelessly through the night, a quiet but powerful resolve settled over the ship. They were no longer just explorers, they were survivors, inventors, and warriors in a silent battle for their future. Helplessly realized that their calculated attack might have done the opposite of what they intended. The humans, faced with sabotage meant to destroy, were instead building strength and resilience. The Starfire was still alive, still moving forward, and the galaxy had yet to see the true power of humanity's spirit. After the sabotage left the Starfire crippled, many would have expected the crew to falter under the weight of such destruction. But the human engineers saw something different, a chance to prove that no challenge could break their spirit. Chief Engineer Marla Jensen stood at the heart of this effort, her eyes sharp and mind racing with ideas as she surveyed the wreckage of the ship's vital systems. What others saw as ruined pieces, she and her team saw as building blocks for something greater. Instead of simply repairing what was broken, Marla inspired her crew to reimagine the ship's technology, turning damaged parts into the foundation of advanced self-healing systems never before seen in human spacecraft. The corridors buzzed with activity as engineers worked tirelessly, cutting and reshaping metal, rewiring circuits with lightning speed, and programming new algorithms that allowed the ship to monitor its own health and repair itself in real time. There was a palpable energy aboard the Starfire, a mix of urgency and excitement, as every obstacle became a puzzle waiting to be solved, every failure a step closer to innovation. Human creativity and adaptability shone like a beacon in the vast, cold darkness of space. The Starfire was no longer just a damaged vessel. It was evolving into a new kind of machine, stronger and faster than it had ever been before. Outside the ship, the Zeltrons observed with growing unease, their initial confidence fading as they realized their sabotage had not broken the humans, but had sparked something far more dangerous to them, a relentless drive to rebuild and improve. The Zeltrons exchanged worried glances. understanding that their plan to delay and weaken humanity might have backfired spectacularly. Meanwhile, aboard the ship, every member of the crew, from engineers to pilots to scientists, felt the weight of their shared mission deepen. They were not just fixing a ship, they were reclaiming their future. The Starfire became a symbol of human willpower and innovation, a vessel that refused to be defeated. As new systems came online, capable of adapting to damage and optimizing performance on the fly, the ship's strength grew exponentially. Sensors that once were offline blinked back to life, now enhanced with improved sensitivity. Engines that sputtered now roared with renewed power, their efficiency boosted by clever modifications. Every breakthrough fed into the next, creating a cycle of rapid advancement fueled by determination and teamwork. Marla Jensen, often found working side by side with her team deep into the night, knew this transformation was about more than technology. It was about proving that humans could rise above any adversity. The crew felt a shared pride in their efforts, a testament to the uniquely human ability to turn crisis into opportunity. Despite the shadows of sabotage still looming, hope burned brighter than ever within the ship's steel walls. As the Starfire moved forward, reborn from its own destruction, the message was clear. Humanity would not be slowed or stopped. The galaxy was watching now, and the humans were ready to show what true resilience looked like. The stage was set for the next chapter in their journey, one where ingenuity and courage would define their path through the stars. After days of tireless work and relentless innovation, the Starfire was no longer the ship it had been before the sabotage. It had been reborn, transformed into something far beyond its original design, something powerful enough to inspire awe and fear throughout the galaxy. The engineers had succeeded in creating a vessel unlike any other, one equipped with technology that seemed almost alive. The armor plating was no longer static metal, but a living shield, capable of sensing damage and regenerating itself in real time. This adaptive armor could absorb energy blasts and repair cracks, as if the ship itself had a pulse, making it nearly impossible to break. Alongside this breakthrough was the integration of an advanced artificial intelligence that controlled the ship's weapons systems. The AI could anticipate enemy moves, calculate trajectories with incredible precision, and operate weapons faster than any human pilot could, turning the Starfire into a deadly force in battle. The propulsion system had also been enhanced, pushing the ship to speeds previously thought unattainable. The ship could now accelerate through space with bursts that bent the limits of current physics, enabling rapid maneuvers and swift escapes when needed. The crew, proud of their creation, affectionately began calling the Starfire the Galactic Monster, a name that spoke to its fierce power and unstoppable presence. When the ship's systems came back online and the engines hummed with renewed life, it was clear to everyone aboard that the Starfire was no longer just a vessel of exploration. It was a symbol of human resilience and brilliance. The Zeltrons, who had watched the ship's transformation with growing alarm, soon learned just how dangerous the new Starfire had become. They launched a second strike, hoping to catch the humans off guard and finish what they had started, but the Galactic Monster was ready. As the Zeltron ships closed in, expecting an easy victory, they were met with an overwhelming defense they could not penetrate. The ship's AI predicted their attack patterns and fired with deadly accuracy, disabling enemy vessels before they could get close. The adaptive armor shrugged off energy blasts that would have shattered ordinary ships, and the propulsion system allowed the Starfire to outmaneuver its foes effortlessly. The battle was swift and decisive. The Zeltrons found themselves forced to retreat, their confidence shattered by the very humans they had sought to delay. Back on the Starfire, the crew felt a surge of pride and relief. Their creation had proven itself not just a survivor of sabotage, but a powerful defender of humanity's future. The Galactic Monster was more than a ship. It was a message to the galaxy that humanity would not be intimidated or slowed down. It was a new era, and the Starfire was leading the way. News of the Starfire's incredible transformation spread like wildfire across the galaxy, reaching every human colony and allied race with a message of hope and power. The story of the ship's rebirth from sabotage into a near-invincible Galactic monster became a symbol of humanity's unbreakable will and unmatched creativity. Colonies once isolated and unsure of their place in the vast universe now stood taller. Inspired by the example set by the Starfire and its crew, this new chapter in human history was marked by boldness and unity, as people everywhere realized they were part of something larger than themselves, a force that could not be ignored. On the other side of the conflict, the Zeltrons grew uneasy. Their plan to delay and weaken humanity had failed, and instead, the humans had emerged stronger and more determined. Fearful of what might come next, the Zeltron leaders reluctantly sent a message proposing negotiations, hoping to find a way to contain the human expansion before it became unstoppable. But the humans, led by Captain Daniels and Chief Engineer Jensen, were no longer the uncertain explorers they once were. They met the Zeltron offer with confidence and clarity, setting firm terms that reflected their new position of strength. The negotiations became a powerful demonstration of human courage, teamwork, and technological brilliance. Every step was calculated and deliberate, showing that humanity was ready not just to survive in the galaxy, but to thrive and lead. The Starfire itself stood as a living reminder of this truth proof that when faced with adversity, humans do not simply endure. They adapt, innovate, and rise above. As talks continued, the humans used their advanced technology and united spirit to push for peaceful cooperation while maintaining readiness to defend their interests. Allies from distant star systems rallied behind the humans, impressed by their resolve and inspired by their example. The Zeltrons, realizing they were dealing with a force they could no longer intimidate, had to reconsider their stance. In this moment of uncertainty, humanity showed the galaxy that their boldness was not reckless, but rooted in a deep understanding of strength and responsibility. The Starfire and its crew, once victims of sabotage, had become the champions of a new era, where humans would boldly claim their place among the stars. Not through aggression, but through resilience, unity, and brilliance. The galaxy watched closely, knowing this was only the beginning of humanity's extraordinary journey. With the Zeltrons finally agreeing to peace talks, a new chapter began not just for the Starfire and its crew, but for all of humanity as it stepped into the vast, uncharted arena of galactic power. Zeltrons, once adversaries filled with suspicion and fear, now approached the negotiations with cautious respect, recognizing that the humans had proven themselves resilient, clever, and united qualities that could no longer be dismissed or underestimated. As the peace talks unfolded, humanity asserted its position not through threats or demands, but with a firm belief in cooperation and mutual progress. Balancing strength with diplomacy, the Starfire, now legendary across the stars, stood as a proud symbol of this new era ship born from destruction but rebuilt into a beacon of hope and determination. Its crew, bound by shared trials and victories, knew that their journey was far from over. Leading a growing fleet of advanced vessels, the Starfire set out to explore new worlds, protect human colonies, and foster alliances with other species who shared their vision of peace and progress. The galaxy was vast and full of unknown dangers, but the humans were ready. Each member of the crew felt the weight of responsibility mixed with excitement, knowing that their actions could shape the future of countless civilizations. Captain Daniels and Chief Engineer Marla Jensen, their leadership proven in the darkest moments, prepared the ship and crew for whatever challenges might come next. Confident that the spirit of humanity's creativity, courage, and unbreakable will would guide them through. Starfire's engines hummed with renewed power as it left the space station behind, speeding toward the distant horizons of the cosmos. The crew gazed out at the stars, filled with hope and determination, ready to face the unknown with the knowledge that they had already overcome the greatest test. Humanity had stepped into the galactic stage not as a fragile newcomer, but as a force to be reckoned with, the civilization that had turned sabotage into strength, fear into opportunity, and doubt into unshakable belief. Yes, as the Starfire disappeared into the depths of space. It carried with it the promise of a new age, one where humans would explore boldly, defend fiercely, and build a future that no one could ever take away. The galaxy watched, waiting to see what this unstoppable spirit would do next, with the Zeltrons finally agreeing to peace talks. A new chapter opened for humanity, one filled with promise, uncertainty, and great responsibility. The bitter tensions that had threatened to ignite war began to ease, replaced by cautious hope and mutual respect. The Zeltrons, who once viewed humans as reckless upstarts, now looked at them with a mixture of admiration and wariness. It was clear that humanity had changed the rules of the game. No longer just explorers, the humans had proven they could stand firm, defend themselves, and rise stronger from any challenge. The Starfire, once a victim of sabotage and near destruction, had become the symbol of that transformation, a legendary vessel whose very existence was a testament to human resilience and ingenuity. In the halls of the Galactic Council, diplomats from many worlds whispered about the remarkable ship and its crew. Stories of how the humans had turned disaster into opportunity inspired other civilizations, sparking new alliances and partnerships. The peace talks were long and careful. The Zeltrons brought demands and concerns, still wary of the human rise. But humanity responded not with threats, but with clear, confident statements about their desire for cooperation and mutual respect. Captain Daniels, now respected throughout the galaxy as a leader who had guided the Starfire through its darkest hours, spoke with calm authority. Beside him stood Chief Engineer Marla Jensen, whose innovations had saved the ship and reshaped the future of space travel. Together, they showed that humanity's strength was not just in weapons or technology, but in the courage to face hardship and the wisdom to seek peace when possible. Outside the council chambers, the Starfire prepared for its next great mission. The ship had grown beyond a single vessel. It now led a fleet built with the same spirit of resilience and creativity. New ships incorporated the self-repairing armor and AI-controlled weapons first developed on the Starfire, a guardian of human interests and values in the galaxy. The crew, a mix of veterans and fresh recruits, trained relentlessly. They knew that while peace talks might succeed, the universe was vast and unpredictable. They needed to be ready for anything. Among the crew, there was a sense of pride, but also humility. They had witnessed how fragile peace could be and understood the importance of vigilance and unity. Marla spent her days in the engineering bay, always pushing the boundaries of what their technology could do. Every improvement, every new device, was a step toward securing humanity's future among the stars. Captain Daniels often walked the decks, talking with the crew, reminding them of the mission's importance, not just exploration or defense, but the building of a legacy. One evening, as the Starfire orbited a newly discovered planet rich in resources, the crew gathered for a ceremony marking the ship's rebirth and new purpose. Captain Daniels addressed them, his voice steady and inspiring. "This ship," he said, "was once broken, scarred by those who wished to see us fail. But here we stand, stronger and wiser. We have shown the galaxy that humanity does not back down. We rebuild, we innovate, and we rise. Our mission is clear: to explore, to protect, and to grow. Together we will shape a future where peace and progress go hand in hand." The crew erupted in cheers, feeling the weight of their shared commitment. As the Starfire prepared to leave orbit, the first signals of new star systems waiting to be explored came through. Each star, each planet, held the promise of discovery. And the challenge of the unknown? The galaxy was vast, full of wonders and dangers alike, but the humans were ready. The Starfire's engines roared to life, carrying the hopes of humanity into the infinite darkness. As the ship disappeared into the depths of space, the Zeltrons watched from their command centers. They had seen the strength of humanity firsthand, and understood that this new era would require diplomacy, respect, and vigilance. Though once adversaries, some among the Zeltrons began to hope for a peaceful coexistence, recognizing that the galaxy was large enough for many voices. Meanwhile, back on the Starfire, the crew settled into their routines, knowing that each day brought new challenges and opportunities. Scientists prepared experiments to learn from alien worlds, diplomats worked to build relationships with other Species and engineers continued to improve their technology. Every role was vital, and every person understood the importance of their work. Captain Daniels often reflected on how far they had come from a ship on the brink of destruction to a flagship of human ingenuity and hope. The journey was far from over, but with each mission, the humans grew stronger, wiser, and more united. The story of the Starfire became one told and retold across colonies and starports, a tale of courage in the face of sabotage, innovation born from crisis, and a spirit that refused to be broken. It inspired new generations to look to the stars, not with fear, but with determination and wonder. As the Starfire ventured deeper into the galaxy, the crew knew they were not alone. They carried with them the hopes of humanity and the knowledge that together they could face whatever the cosmos had in store. The new galactic era had begun, and humanity was ready to lead it with strength, honor, and an unshakable spirit.